We're continuing now in the first Hosafa to the Sefer, which is the compilation of the many letters of the Rebbe regarding to emphasize the way Moshiach is going to come, the way the Chalta the Gula is going to come, and the Gula Shlema, and this is done through Melech HaMashiach, the whole order, and which the Rebbe is coming to exclude, to say that Yidden should go to Eretz Yisrael by themselves, and that's already beginning of Kibbutz Golius or Chalta the Gula, etc. Now let's see, now we're up to Cheli Gimel, page Taf Yud Zayin, Cheli Gimel, the third section of the letters, which the title is HaGeula Dafka L'Idei HaMashiach. The Geula and the Chalta the Geula and the Achonis to the Geula, and everything has to be done through Melech HaMashiach. So let's see, Aleph. So the Rebbe ends off a letter over here. Tavshin Lamed Beis, Michtav Klalia the Rebbe, El Tavshin Lamed Beis. The Rebbe says like this: V'yekabel HaMelech b'sever panim yafeis v'yimali tfilos. The king will accept the person that's coming to pray for him, and the Eibishter is going to accept him with a smiling face, with a nice face, and the Eibishter will fulfill his prayer. What's the prayer? What's the tefillah? Tka b'shofar gadol l'cheideseinu v'sanes l'kabitz gol yeseinu v'kabtzeinu yachad chulu. Blow the big shofar, the great shofar, which this is a sign for our freedom, just like an Eved. When the Eved that's working for his master, by the year of Yovel, they blow the shofar, and when they blow the shofar, it means that the slaves are free. The idea of blowing a shofar means to free the slaves, the shacharer ha'avadim. So too we say, Tka b'shofar gadol, the Eibishter Hashem yitka b'shofar gadol, through this, that Hashem is going to blow the big shofar. That's going to mean the sign that we're going free. And then there's another thing. Another thing is lift up the great flag for our in gatherings of the exiles. There's being freed, and then there is to pick up a flag. Neis Zedekel, a flag. Pick up the son Neis Etarim Etadegel, and that means all the Yidden should come together. So there's two things over here. There's Tka b'shofar gadol. Hashem is doing two things. Number one is blowing the shofar. Second thing is he has to pick up a flag. Blowing the shofar means Cheirus. Cheiruseinu. Picking up the flag means to gather us together. There's two things over here. And gather us together. When is this going to take place? This of our redemption, our freedom, and our redemption, and our gathering of the exiles. This will be done, and the true and ultimate redemption through Melech HaMashiach very soon. So the Rebbe says in the Ha'oreh, L'cheiruseinu v'kabtzeinu. Right? Alidei Melech HaMashiach. There's two things over here. There's our Cheirus, the Cheirus of the Jewish people, and then there is the Yidden are free from their Avdus, which maybe means over here the Shibud Malchiyus. Then there's the Kabtzeinu, the gathering of the exiles, and all of this is done through Alidei Melech HaMashiach. So the Rebbe says, okay, Berama Milchas Malachim Perikid Aleph, Sha'aseiderhu, like the Rambam says in Milchas Malachim Perikid Aleph, that what's the order? Cheirus v'Geulas Yisrael. First, the Yidden themselves get redeemed from their enemies. Like the Rambam says, first Melech HaMashiach is going to be Mekabe, is going to be Menatzeach, Kol HaUmeis Shesvivov. And then, V'achar Kach, Kibbutz Nidchei Yisrael. And after that, Melech HaMashiach will gather together all the Yidden to Eretz Yisrael. They're called Zedavka Al Yidei Melech HaMashiach. And all of this is done specifically through Melech HaMashiach. So who's the one that makes the Yidden get freed from their enemies? Who's the one that redeems the Jewish people and gather all the Jewish people together? This is Melech HaMashiach. Now, so this is the Rekud over here that the Rebbe is pointing out in this letter. That there's Chedus of Yidden, there's the goal. So the Rebbe is saying that the Baruch and Shemena Esrei is the same order of the Rambam. There's Chedus of Yidden, no more Umasailam than there is the kibbutz Nidchei Yisrael, leading gathering together, and that's through Melech HaMashiach. Okay, Beis, we're going to see now a letter of the Rebbe. This is a letter that the Rebbe wrote out of Tisha B'Av. A day before Tisha B'Av, Tavshin Chav Dalit. Be'amdeinu b'mei zikaron liyamim ma'hem bizman hazeh. Churban beis mikdashenu b'yisrishenu b'ayishenu. When we're standing in these days, when we're remembering what happened in those days and our times, the destruction of the Beis HaMikdash, the first Beis HaMikdash, the second Beis HaMikdash. Hine, al pi eiros chazal sh'hamaiso hu ha'ikar. What's the point of remembering the Churban? Ma kol ha'inyan lizkor et ha'Churban. Lama? Aikar zeh, the most important thing is to bring l'maisa. Tzarich liyot mashu l'maisa. There needs to be something that we're going to do because of it. Hazi azorak lizkor et ha'Churban. Kol ha'kavana shezochrim et ha'Churban ze lavi she'anachnu naseh zeh mashu levatel et ha'Churban. The whole purpose of remembering the Churban is to do something to be mevatel l'Churban. Umikir emali dibra kasuv yesh pasuk mefarash is a clear verse in the Torah that says this. Fear God, and watch His mitzvahs. This, fearing the Eibishter, doing Torah and mitzvahs, this is the whole person. There's not even just to remember the destruction and be all sad and that's it. No, the whole point is to fear the Eibishter and to do His mitzvahs. Move on. It's understood that remembering the Churban, the whole purpose is that it should affect and bring to action. The whole point. Kol ha'kavana shezochrim et ha'Churban b'Tisha B'Av ze rak lavo lidei ma'aseh mishu yaseh mashu b'poel mamish v'levatel et ha'Churban. L'chol reish b'toichen zichrin zeh. What's the first thing that we learn out of this? What's the first thing that we remember? The destruction, and because of this makes us do something to take away the destruction. So when we remember the destruction and what caused the destruction. Why do we remember the Churban? In order to remember what caused the Churban and to take away that cause, and automatically that's going to take away the effect, the whole idea of Galus. Shehem kemafurish bakam mekem is betanach b'lashon Chazal mipnei chatoeinu galinu ma'aretzeinu v'chulu hayad shenishtalcha b'mikdashecha. What do we say clearly in a couple of places of Tanakh and Chazal? Because of our sins, we left our land. What causes us to leave the land? Our Avedis. What's going to cause us to get back to the land? Not to go back to the land, that's not going to help, but to take away the cause of leaving the land, and that is the Avedis. So when we take away the Avedis, we will get back to the Eretz Yisrael, and we'll get back to the Beis HaMikdash. Shemizeh hamaskona asher hamilchama hachalishus v'hagiroy v'hasibach hatoeinu machlishim v'goyrim es hamesuva of galinu ma'aretzeinu hayad shenishtalcho amikarvim es hageula geula amitis v'ashleim l'dei Moshiach tzidkeinu. If you know the cause of something, what created the Galus and what made the Galus? Our Avedis. Yeah, what created the Galus? Maya tzaret hagelut averot. What caused us to leave Eretz Yisrael? Ma garam lanu lazov et Eretz averot shelanu lepnei chatoeinu galinu ma'aretzeinu. So how are we going to make that we'll get back to Eretz Yisrael? How is going to make us go back to our land? Not to just go back to the land. Ma yazor lanu lachzor la'aretz. לא רק שתחזור לארץ. למה? מישהו היה בבית, והעיפו אותו מהבית בגלל שהוא השתולל. אז מה יעזור לבן הזה? שיחזור לבית ויהיה אותו טמבל? יעיף אותו עוד הפעם. אלא שהוא לא יהיה משתולל. ואז האבא שלו מעצמו יחזיר אותו הביתה. You have a kid that's making a troublemaker. So his father kicks him out of the house because he's making trouble. What's the way to make his father bring him back home? Not that he should just go back home and stay the same troublemaker. He'll kick him out again. The whole point is that the boy, wherever he is, should stop being a troublemaker. Then his father on his own will come and take him and bring him home. So when we take away chatoinu, when we take away the avedos, this takes away the galinu maritzeinu. This takes away the hand that destroyed the Beis Hamikdash, and it makes it the Beis Hamikdash should be built back again. Now, who's going to make the Gula come? This is going to be done in the true and ultimate redemption through Moshiach Tzidkeinu. Now, the Rebbe writes, Asher kahoyroas moira hanevuchim ma'oz b'deira iva ad b'deireinu upsak dina yabar. There's people that don't know. People say, oh, we don't know how the Gula is going to come. Lo yodim ach Mashiach yavo. They say we don't know what's the order. We're not sure. The Rebbe says that Rambam has a title. The Rambam is called Moira Nevuchim. Hamorel Nevuch. But Adam that doesn't know the way, a guy that's lost. And Adam sheneh bad bad for sure. Lo yida falal lachadach lagia. Azish More Nevuchim. More she'anashim shehem verblonget. They're lost. But Adam lo yida falafun nimtzah. Chashuch. So the Rambam is called the Moira Nevuchim. So too in this concept, in this idea of how does the Gula start, how is Mashiach going to come, there's people that don't know. There's many people that say, oh, we don't know. We don't know. We can't know. Yeah? And people try to be, excuse my sharp term, they take the Rambam himself, and the Rambam says that we don't know how it's going to be. The Rambam writes that only regarding when Al Yanav is going to come, and his God is Evim Kavis, Kipshut Yeramash. The Rambam Befedish does not write that regarding the whole Inyani Gul Mashiach. Then why did he write a whole Perek Alf, whole Perek If you don't know, you should stay quiet. Instead of writing two full prakim about Mashiach, the Rambam should write one line. We don't know how it's going to be, and then shut it down. No, the Rambam Befedish wrote two full prakim to say how Mashiach is going to come, and he wrote the same order twice, the beginning of Perek Alf and again in Allah Dalit. So we Befedish do know. And the point over here is that the Rebbe calls the Rambam over here Moira Hanevuchim. The Rambam called himself. The Rambam, you think you don't know how Mashiach is going to come, so open up the Rambam. The Rambam is the Moira Hanevuchim, and he's going to show you. Psak Din Yabar, the Rambam wrote a clear Psak Din. V'yodai HaChazaka. The Rambam wrote this Psak Din with his strong hand. Right? The simple word, the name of the Rambam is called Yad HaChazaka. By the way the Rambam writing it, the Rebbe is using the Lashon HaPasuk. B'yod Chazaka, B'yod HaChazaka. The Rambam wrote in his strong hand in the Sefer Mishnah Torah to clear Psak Din how it's going to take place. What does the Rambam write? HaMelech HaMashiach. Who? The King Moshiach, he and only he will be the one to gather together all the identities Yisrael. People say, let's go to Israel now. Harabam Kotev B'mfurash. The Rambam writes clearly that the Melech HaMashiach and only the Melech HaMashiach is the one to bring all the identities Yisrael. And before Yidden go to Eretz Yisrael, and as a introduction and a preparation, there needs to be something before that. Before going to Eretz Yisrael, there needs to be a preparation. The Rebbe wrote to many people. It's interesting that just like physically, before you go to Eretz Yisrael or you go to a country, you need a visa. You need a permission to go inside. You need permission from that country. The Rebbe says so to Israel. Eretz HaKodesh, Eretz Yisrael is the Eibishter's land. It's Eretz Shel HaKodesh Baruch Hu. And you need a visa from Hashem to go inside to Eretz Yisrael. What's the visa? What's Hashem Torah and Mitzvahs? You need to add in Torah and Mitzvahs before you go to the Eibishter's land. Before you go to Eretz HaKodesh, you need to be Ma'aseh in Torah and Mitzvahs. So here the Rebbe is saying that similar Nekudah. Before, first of all, who's going to bring out Eretz Yisrael? Melech HaMashiach. And before Kibbutz Goliath, before you go to Eretz Yisrael, there needs to be a preparation. There needs to be an introduction. What is that? First of all, the person himself that brings everyone to Eretz Yisrael. Whatever, Moshiach, the person, he himself is someone that toils in Torah. He's haigebat Torah. Ve'esik b'mitzvahs kedavid aviv. He's totally occupied in the fulfillment of Torah and mitzvahs like David HaMelech, his father. We're talking about the frumis yid in history. So besides for this, that he himself is haigebat Torah ve'esik b'mitzvahs. Besides for that, now what does it mean haigebat Torah? Ma pirush haigebat Torah. Why didn't the Rambam write loimet Torah? Mishu shalomet Torah. Lomet. Maza haigebat Torah. So not stam limud ragil. It's not a regular learning. It's haigebat Torah. So the Rebbe explains. Look, this takab side haigebat Torah. Harabi mevaed, the left side haigebat Torah. Rei aveda zara. Yeter Sabar Aleph. Or Peke the Rabbi Lezer, Seif Parshalam and Dalit. The Kol Yaakov, Shahu Hamavatli de Esav, Hainu Yigoyin Torah. The Rabbi explains over here two things. In Mesachs Avodah Zarah, Daf Yeter Sabar Aleph, it says that a person, it says in the Gemara, La'olam Yilmad Adam, Va'achar Kach Yegeh. A person should learn first. Kodem yilmad, achrei shalomed, achrei ze yageh. What does that mean? Yilmad. After you learn it for the first time, then you learn even deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. Hoigebat Torah, mazeh hoigebat Torah. Yesh lilmod Torah. Gemara amar yilmad, achrei ze yageh. הוא כבר למד את הכל. אחרי שהוא לומד ויודע, הוא מתעמק וחופר בתוך הלימוד. זה haigebat Torah. Moshiach is haigebat Torah. That's number one. The second thing that Rebbe brings down over here is that it says Kol Yaakov, Hakol Kol Yaakov, Vayidai Midei Yosef. Nachon? So he says the Kol Yaakov katuv b'Pirkei Lezer Kasher Yesh et Kol Yaakov. Kasher Yesh et Kol Yaakov b'Bat Medrash. Zemevatel at Yidei Yosef. Kol Yaakov demolishes and extinguishes and takes away Yidei Yosef. So Moshiach is haigebat Torah. This takes away the goyim. This takes away the gelinu maratzeinu. This takes away the enemies of the Yidden. Then the Rambam continues. The Moshiach is oisik b'mitzvahs. Why doesn't the Rambam write oisik mitzvahs? Oseh mitzvot. Maza oisik b'mitzvahs. Osek. So let's see the side, but such small. The oisik b'mitzvahs. Rei ran le'sukuch av chasam aralef v'b'diyik alash and oisik b'mitzvah v'loi mekai mitzvah. The Ran explains in Masechah Sukkah. It says oisik b'mitzvah. Potter min ha-mitzvah. Doesn't say mekai b'mitzvah is potter min ha-mitzvah, but oisik b'mitzvah. Maza oisik. It says that when someone is in middle of doing something, when someone is constantly busy in middle of doing something right now, then you spot it from doing another mitzvah. If he's just sitting around and waiting for something, that's not called oisik b'mitzvah. Oisik b'mitzvah means that right now he's totally occupied in doing a mitzvah, and therefore he's spotted from doing a different mitzvah. So, which means that his doing of mitzvahs is going to take his whole entire existence. Right? When is someone parted from doing another mitzvah? Matay mishu batur melakei mitzvah acheret? כתוב oisik b'mitzvah poter מן המצווה. דווקא כשהוא עסוק עכשיו, הוא באמצע משהו, אז הוא פטור ממשהו אחר. אבל הוא יושב ככה, סתם מחכה. מה זה משיח? הוא בן אדם שהוא תמיד, כל החיים שלו, הוא oisik b'mitzvahs. He's constantly busy doing Torah and mitzvahs. And then the Rambam continues, Kedavid Aviv. You see, look, B'tzad Tzalak Kedavid Aviv, Ma za adiyuk halashon hazeh. What's this? What's the Rambam coming to emphasize? The Moshiach is doing mitzvahs just like David his father. Kedavid Aviv. So the Rebbe explains that the term Kedavid Aviv, like David his father, Loshin harogil benach benoikei ala malchei beis David. This is a regular term in Nach, regarding the kings of the house of David. The kings from the Davidic dynasty, he uses the term like King David, his father, David. So what does it mean? What is this meaning of David? Yeshlei marakavono shetia Torah b'derech oil v'amitzvos b'akdomis oila shel tshuva ma'asim tovim shezo hukam al yedei David dafka. Who started off? We're going to learn till here. Who started off? David HaMelech, kshu kiyam Torah v'mitzvot. When David HaMelech did Torah and mitzvahs, was in a way of oil. He says David is called David Avdi. As Tzamach David Avdecha, Me'ida Tzamach David, Hunyan Shel Eved. Shema ze Eved? Shehu mevatel et atzmo, mekabel al atzmo, kol ol she'asiv al agav shelo. So Moshiach, the Rambam writes, that Moshiach is going to fulfill mitzvahs just like David, his father, which David accepted the yoke to be a slave of Hashem. So to Mashiach, the way he's going to do Torah and mitzvahs is going to be with this idea of accepting the yoke of the Eibishter's kingdom. And even the mitzvahs that he does is going to be with the Agdama of the oil of tshuva. Why do you say tshuva ma'asim tovim? Why don't you say first you do ma'asim tovim, and if someone missed the ma'asim tovim, then he does tshuva? Why does it say tshuva ma'asim tovim? That the ma'asim tovim that he does is after the tshuva, which means he comes from the tshuva. Who did this? Who made this whole idea of tshuva? Who hakim oil shel tshuva? Who's the one that made the whole idea of tshuva? That's David HaMelech. Now the Rebbe continues back inside the letter. Mashiach is Yaakov Kol Yisrael Leilech Ba Alachazik Bitka. Mashiach will force all of the Jewish people to go in the way of Torah and to strengthen its cracks. Says the Rebbe in the side footnote, Yaakov Kol Yisrael Leimar Pirushai Hashaychus Letikun Inin Hachurban Shahaya Al Shaloi Michu. The Rebbe explains the whole idea of the Churban came why? It says that the Talmidei Chachamim were not moiche for those that did not accept Torah and mitzvahs. The whole idea of the Churban, the Talmidei Chachamim said that they're look what it says. This tekel daf ayin zayin. This tekel daf ayin zayin lamata ha'ara 80. The Rebbe brings of him Shabbos Kuf Yitesa ben Beis Omar Rav Amram Bereid Rav Shimon Barabba Omar Rav Shimon Barabba Omar Rav Chanina the Chor v'Yerushalayim Ela B'Shvil Shelo Yichichu Zeh. Why did Yerushalayim get destroyed? That they did not give Teichacha. Someone saw someone else doing something wrong. He wasn't Mechiach. He stayed quiet. Shenemar Hoyu Sharel Kelim Leimotza Mira Ma Ayil Zeh Reisha Shal Zeh B'Tzad Novi Shal Zeh. Just like by an ayil, the head of one ayil is by the tail of the other ayil. They're not facing each other face to face. Jews are not speaking to each other. Af Yisrael Shabbat Hadir Kavshu. So too, the Yidden and the Sorim, the Gedolei Yisrael, in that day, the day of the Churban, they did not give Teichacha one another to fix the people that are doing something wrong. Rather, they just put their face in the ground. So Moshiach, that is coming to take away Golus, he's coming to destroy the Golus. He has to take away the cause of the Golus. What is the cause of the Golus? Not being mechiach one another. So how do you, if you take away that cause through being mechiach one another, that's going to take away the effect. The whole idea of Galus and the Gul is going to come. It's going to take away the Galus and bring Mashiach. So that's what the Rebbe is saying over here. The Yaakov called Yisrael through this time. Mashiach is going to force the other Yidden. They go in the way of Torah. It says this is the way we're going to bring the Gula. Or the Acharei Zevala said that after this, and it needs to be specifically in this order. First of all, Yilchem Milchamis Hashem v'Yanatzeach Kol Homid Shesvivav. He's going to fight the wars of the Eibishter, and he's going to win over all the nations around the Yidden around Eretz Yisrael, which these words actually, he's going to win over all the nations around Eretz Yisrael. The Rebbe points out that this is the way it's printed in Tfus Reimi, in the Roman print of the Rambam, that the censors from the Goyim that when looked over to take away anything that doesn't fit with them, they did not do this work on the Rambam from Tfus Reimi. Over there it clearly says that he's going to win over all the nations around Eretz Yisrael. And after that, Mashiach is going to build a Beis HaMikdash in its place, which this is a Chiddush of Rebbe Elazar, like it says in Vayikra Rabbah, Parshat Tes, that Davka Mashiach is going to be the one to build the Beis HaMikdash. And after that, V'yikabitz Nitcha Yisrael, he's going to gather together all the Yidden to Eretz Yisrael. That specifically Mashiach is going to gather everyone to Eretz Yisrael. And when will he gather everyone to Eretz Yisrael? All the way in the end. These people that are making a mistake, what are they saying? They're saying that the first thing that takes place before Malach HaMashiach showing up, before Mashiach himself being Hayyim B'Teirah Mitzvahs and making all the Yidden to go in the way of Teirah and Mitzvahs, and win over all the nations around Eretz Yisrael and build the Beis HaMikdash, and only then he gathers together the Yidden in Eretz Yisrael. They say that the first thing is Kibbutz Galuyos. Punkt Farkert for the ganze Seder over here. And also, not only in the order, but also who does it? Malach HaMashiach does it. It doesn't happen on its own. It doesn't happen without a Mashiach. And also, what is the mohus of the whole idea of Geula? The whole idea of Geula is to bring the completion of Teirah and Mitzvahs, to go in the way of Teirah and Mitzvahs. What made the whole Golus? The whole Golus is through not keeping Teirah and Mitzvahs. What means Mashiach? Mashiach means to fulfill Teirah and Mitzvahs. Then that's going to take away the cords of the Golus. And in these three Nekudis, what is Geula? Who brings the Geula? And the order of the Geula, this is not the way the Matzav in Eretz Yisrael is, and that's why the Rebbe is saying, this is not a Yischal to the Geula, it's not a Achona to the Geula, it's not a Akdama to the Geula. And the Rebbe ends off with a prayer, V'hiratzi, Shekol echad ve'achas, Yilchem b'hasiba b'chatoinu, every single man and woman, young and old, will fight the war of Hashem. He will fight the cause of the Galus, which is what made the Galus happen. Chateinu is going to fight against Avedis. How do you fight against Chateinu? This is through doing Farkeret, Saisur Meirah, and also through Asiyat Devav, they kill Teirah Mitzvahs, to fulfill Teirah and Mitzvahs, Leilach Ba, on the Chazik Bidka, to go in the way of Teirah and Mitzvahs, and to strengthen the cracks in Yiddishkeit, Valpi HaHavtocha, and according to the promise, that one that comes to make pure, to purify others, to purify himself, they will help him. Yatzliach, he will be successful to go he himself in the way of Teirah Mitzvahs and make other Yidden go in the way of Teirah Mitzvahs. Through this, he will speed up the end of our Galus, v'yikarev bias Mashiach tzidkeinu, and he will hasten and make happen faster the coming of Mashiach tzidkeinu, v'gula seinu, and our redemption, v'nizke lekima yud asher yehavchu yamim eilu l'sasinu l'simcha, and we will merit that these days, the days when the Rebbe was saying wrote this letter, which was in Yemei Bein HaMitzorim, it will be transformed and flipped over to sasin and simcha, which this is also in Chodesh Adar now, which it's the same Nekudah, that Chodesh Hashanah Bachlahem Me'evil Yomtiv, that the Eibishter should flip over the Golus and the war and Alin Maisis to a Groise Yomtiv, to the Gula Midis Vashlema Tekev Umiyad Mamish, now, Amen.